Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a little while. Treetop Garage. So, I took a little time off. We had a lot of stuff going on over this last part of the summer we had bought another property. And we were doing a lot of stuff there, and we were just kind of trying to enjoy our weekends there. And of course, I had some other stuff going on I had to take care of around, just here at our property here, where I live at here. So, anyways, I thought I'd give you guys an update. So let's do that. And the Studebaker gasser is going to get a major overhaul in motor and transmission. So I'll go over that in a sec. But I've also did a little bit of stuff to the Yamaha XS650, which is actually a 750 bore kit on it. The motorcycle chopper, little bobber guy, motorcycle over there. The Ford F100 to 59. We haven't really done a lot to it. I think the next step to getting this thing kind of on the road right now is I got to buy a bunch of brake parts, like all the brake stuff for the front and rear. All the brake lines are ran. It just needs all the calipers. I'm sure are junk. They're old. They're rusty. All the brake rotors, all the rear brake, this drum brake stuff in it, all that stuff needs replaced. And a bunch of other stuff. And I think I'm pretty sure we did a video on changing out the master, and we put a smaller booster on the firewall there and all that stuff, and a new whole pedal linkage, all that stuff's all new. I think we did a video on that. I did put aluminum radiator in it, and then I got all the hoses and everything. All that stuff's all done. I just need to do, and I haven't worked on it. I have not. I actually want to roll it out of the garage here. I'm sick of looking at it. I'm sick of looking at it for real. I don't even want to see this thing actually until after wintertime. But the Model A is still outside. The two-door sedan I got from Honest Peyton Speed Shop, it's still sitting outside. And I have a method to my madness. So let me flip you guys around. I'll show you guys what we got for the Studebaker and tell you the little bit of story behind that. And then I'll tell you what the plans are for the 283 and the transmission that's in the Studebaker right now. Actually, the Studebaker, over this last few months that I haven't been making any videos, I've actually drove it quite a bit. Probably I haven't drove it in probably about a couple of weeks now, but I was putting miles on it almost every week, about every week, I probably put maybe a couple hundred miles on it, just driving it locally. I want to make sure that I can drive it and trust it before I try to drive it any further. So right now, that's the whole shakedown process. Obviously we drove it around locally, up and down the road, around the corner and back, whatever at first. But I wanted to put some more miles on it, so we did. Actually, like I said, a couple hundred miles on it probably at least. And it's been running good. It runs great. I actually hooked up the overdrive for the 700R4, the electronic overdrive. It works good. My only complaint about the overdrive in that transmission, for whatever reason, when you're driving and you go to slow down without shifting it manually, it'll stay in overdrive until you get down to about 20 miles an hour or 15 miles an hour before it even comes out of overdrive, which I don't like that. So I've learned actually that if you manually shift it down, it'll shift down on manually and be fine. So that's kind of how I've been driving it. But it's a really super high revving motor, and it has power. It's got some torque, but it's not really what what I was wanting originally for the car. I wanted something with way more torque and way more horsepower than what I have with that. So let me pause you. Let's see what we got here. We got a little project we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. So hold on, guys. All right, so let me give you a little backstory. So this is it's dated 1977 on the block on the date codes. It's a 440 Mopar engine out of an RV. So a buddy of mine got a hold of me probably, I don't know, last week sometime, 2 weeks ago. Actually, no. They came over. A buddy of mine that I've known for a long time. Him and another guy that he has working for him came over here. I bought some firewood off of him for the winter, for out here. And while we were unloading the firewood, he mentioned, "Hey, I got a 440 out of a motorhome if you're interested. It's only got like 48,000 miles on it." I'm like, "Well, it might be." I says, "Well, what do you want for it?" He says, "Give me, $500 was the original price." So I'm like, "Okay." And I was thinking, well, I don't know what I would do with it, because at the time I was like, not wanting to mess with the Studebaker because it's already done. And the only other car project I have that needs a motor is the Model A, which I was thinking of just putting a small block 283 or something out of. Actually, my brother has one right now. That I was thinking about putting a small block in that. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll think about it, let you know. So I was thinking about it. Next thing you know, I'm like, you know what? The 440 Mopar, big block, probably wouldn't be the worst thing for the Studebaker, actually. The problem with this thing is it's got beautiful the cylinder walls, it's got like not even 50,000 miles on it. So all the cylinders have beautiful cylinder walls. They actually still have cross hatching in the cylinder walls. I don't know if I can even show you that because you have to get super close. But these things have about a 7 and maybe not even 7.5, like 7.2 to 1 compression ratio. And I'll show you the heads in a sec. But I mean, the cylinder to head, like, this compression ratio is way low. So in order to make any kind of real power that if I'm going to do this, I want to kind of do it right this time. The original motor that's in the Studebaker now, it was all rebuilt already, so I just took a gamble, put it in there the way it was, and it ended up being what it is. It's got 10-inch wide tires on it. It's got a posi in it with 410s, I think, in the 8.8 rear that's in it, and it'll barely do a burnout. Like, you got to really make it do a burnout, and a lot of times it don't want to. So, anyways, so there's stock pistons in there right now. This thing's probably got, like I said, a little less than 50,000 miles on it. The bores are really nice on it. It's got this little edge in here from just carbon. I mean, you can feel it with your fingernail a little bit, but you can almost just scrape it off. Like, there's no, even the spots that don't have a lot of carbon. Actually, that you can't even feel with your fingernail right there. It's just all just from the fuel that it was burning. It's not like a wear thing. You can still see the cross hatching in every cylinder on this thing. We did pull it apart. I got it actually in full form with the 727 trans that's sitting over here. It was, when I got it, it was all one piece, still had valve covers. We tore it apart. Me and my son did just kind of check it out. I should have got video of that, and I didn't. But it was, everything we took off was really nice. The only thing I want to know, and I'll show you this in a sec, there was something that was bolted onto with a bracket on the tail housing of the transmission. I don't know if it's something with an RV or what it is. There's some kind of the electronic deal. I have no idea what it is. But so the idea with this, and I already bought some of the stuff. It's supposed to be shipping. I'm guessing here in the next day or two. So I bought another set of pistons and rings. From what I've read, these motorhome, this is a 77. It's dated on the side. These are supposed to have 446 pack style rods, so the rods and cranks should be really good for, and whatever. So the pistons I have that I bought, they're not here yet. They have a little bit of a dome, and they say they'll work with the heads I have, which the heads I have are nothing special. They're not closed chamber heads or nothing like that. And they should work fine with that. But it's saying that the pistons I got a little bit of a dome, a little bit of valve relief. And they say, I think it said for 86 or so cc combustion chambers, which is what those heads are supposed to have. It should bring this up to about 9.9 to 1 compression. I've also read that those heads that I have, or I think 452 heads or something like that. It's also saying those can range from 86 to 90 cc's. So that'll still put me in the 9 to 1, 9.5 to 1 compression, I'm thinking. So anyway, I got pistons coming with rings. They're Keith Black. pistons, they got like a little bit dome, they got a little bit of a valve relief. They should be good. I don't know when they're shipping, but I bought them yesterday. I also bought a cam kit because of the cam, the lifters, and the valve springs. So I'll be changing the valve springs, and I want to port these heads anyways, so that'll actually work out perfect. So we'll be doing the pistons and the rings. I still gotta flip this over and take the oil pans beat the crap, like it needs replaced as well. So I'll be doing the oil pan and taking this rest of the front of this motor off. In fact, I'm probably gonna change the timing set in it as well, because it's a low mile motor, but I figure since I have it all apart, I'm probably just going to change the timing set. And actually, I was looking today, I think I'm going to go ahead and change all the bearings in the bottom end too, because I have it apart anyways, you know what I mean? The Studebaker already has an electric fuel pump, so the fuel pump that's on here, it's broken, so I'm going to take the fuel pump off of there, and I'm just going to put a block off plate there. Like I said, I'm going to pull all this off in the front, and go ahead and just get the cam and lifters out of there, and then the timing chain and gears and that in here, I don't know what kind of condition they're in, obviously, but I'm going to go ahead and just swap that stuff out too. So I am going to clean this whole block up real good. Obviously there's going to be a lot of wire brushing. It wasn't covered in grease, which I was expecting it to be, but it is covered with a lot of just dirty stuff, you know what I mean, just grime and whatever. I was thinking it was going to be like totally covered with like grease and stuff, but this thing was actually fairly clean for what it was. I was expecting worse. And actually this thing, I don't know how common it is for these, but it did have a factory cast iron 4-barrel intake on it. No carburetor when I got it. The distributor actually that was in there was decent. I think I might put a different one in it though. We'll see what I could find. You guys let me know on the in the comments, any of you, especially any of you Dodge guys that might know more, if I should change the oil pump or not. This is, like I said, it's an RV motor, so I don't know if it has maybe a high flow oil pump or not. I don't really know much about these things. This is the second Mopar engine I've ever had in my life, so it's definitely a learning curve. It had an alternator and all the bracketry and all that stuff, and actually had a power steering pump with all the bracketry, but I don't need the power steering pump. I'm hoping that I can get away with just the alternator with the bracketry and get rid of this outer pulley on the front here, because that's going to take up a lot of room, and as you know, in the Studebaker there's not a lot of room from front to back. I'm actually going to have to probably cut out some of the firewall and move it back a little bit to make this fit. Now, I've already done some measuring, and as far as from the where the bell housing bolts up to where these brackets are right now, these motor mounts, I should be able to make that work. The main thing is going to be from here forward. So, and I can move the radiator on that thing forward at least an inch. I might have to cut away the firewall. I'm not sure yet. We're going to probably take that motor out. I'm going to wait until I know it's going to be cold enough to where I won't want to take it out anymore before I even start messing with it. But I want to get this, at least the short block, kind of done. And then do the head work. Obviously, I got to get gaskets. And this thing, that's the other thing I want to say. This thing originally had, this is what we took out. It's a shim gasket. It's just, I don't know what it is measurement-wise, but I would think 25 thousandths. I did not measure this. In fact, I could real quick. I took it up to the living room. I actually was going to measure this thickness. And they do sell these. You can get these still. Some of them you got to watch, because some of the Felpro ones are them real thick, like 35, 40 thousandths ones. But that is very thin. So I want to put that back in. The cam kit that I bought is from Hughes. It's a Hughes whiplash cam, which I had seen a lot of videos, and a lot of guys like them. The only thing is, because it has a little bit tighter of a lobe separation angle, like a 107, it may mess with my vacuum a little bit. But to be honest, that motor that's in there now doesn't really create a whole lot of vacuum, so I should be okay. And they have vacuum canisters and whatever that I've used before with bigger cans like that. So let me pause you, and we'll take a look at some other stuff here. Hold on, guys. All right, guys. So I repositioned the camera, obviously. So we got the 727 trans, and torque converter was Obviously it's still in there right now. But this is what I wanted to know. So this was bolted to this transmission on the tail housing bolts. And I have no idea what this is. I have never seen nothing like this. It's got a speedometer cable on it. It's got, looks like some kind of a vacuum line or something on there, and it also has some wiring going to it. I have no idea what this thing is for. If it has something to do with motorhome stuff or what, I don't know. But hopefully somebody out there can tell me what it is, because I really don't want to use it if I don't have to, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So the 727 trend, we pulled it out. The fluid looked really good in it. I probably am going to put a shift kit in there, and I may even get a little bit bigger of a stall converter, more than just a stock converter that's in it right now. Although I think that cam that I bought says you can use a regular torque converter, but I might go with a little bit bigger, like a stall converter, like maybe a 2000, 2200 or something like that. So we also got these heads here, which are, like I said, I think they're like 452 heads, which are probably one of the least desired heads you could possibly get. But they were on the motor, so we pulled them off. Everything looked really good. This motor, I found out, did spend some time upside down. When they first got it out of the motorhome, the guy I got it from, he's like more of a scrapper. So when they pulled it out, they basically just flipped it on its like upside down and put like a little hole in each valve cover just to drain the oil out, and it just sat. So there's no detection of moisture in the cylinders. Everything was good there, but there's a lot of oil in a couple of the cylinders I found out right away. So this one has oil in it. That one has a little bit of oil in it. The valves look like they can be cleaned up pretty good. I guess we'll find out if that's all they need or not. But these are 452 heads, both of them. Very clean, actually. I mean, they're very clean inside. There's almost no garbage in the heads or in the block, really. A little tiny bit of stuff in the valley pan where the cam's, underneath, or just above where the cam is. But these look really good. So my plan is, I was going to have the head shaved on the deck part, but I decided not to, because the cam that I bought actually is supposed to be a low compression motor cam from Hughes, that whiplash cam, if you want to look it up. It's designed for low compression engine. It's supposed to be good for lower end. But I ended up buying the pistons after I bought the cam, so I think all I'm going to do is we're going to clean these up. I'm going to port, obviously, all the intakes, probably the exhaust as well. Just, align with the gasket, wherever it is, and then just clean up whatever I can inside to make it just more airflow as much as I can. And on both heads, and on the exhaust side as well. And I got a set of 1.6 roller rockers for this whole thing too. And that cam kit does come with the valve springs as well. So I'm supposed to have, I don't know when I'm supposed to get that. I haven't really even shipped it yet, but hopefully here in the next couple of days I'll have something for that. I'd like to get the rest of that motor apart here in the next day or two. I just haven't had a chance to really mess with it. This is the other head here. About the same. It just needs cleaned up. It's sat, and obviously it just needs cleaned up and needs some rework. So I think that'll be good. Surprisingly enough, the size of this motor versus the size of that 283 block is only a couple inches different. For the length mostly. The width is a little bit more. And obviously I'll have an issue where I probably have to cut into the firewall, and I also I'm probably gonna have to make my own headers as well. Although I have heard of people taking big block Chevy fender well headers and using 440 big block Mopar like header flange that goes on the motor, the head, and making them work that way, which I may try to do. I've heard a few different people doing a few different things, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think this thing, when it's done, I think we'll be looking at well over 400 horse and who knows how much torque. I was watching a video last night of that Engine Masters or whatever, and they took the same basic motorhome 440. They put thumper cam in it, headers, I think a 4-barrel like aluminum intake with like I think an 850 or 750 carb, and made like just under 400 horses. When this thing I think was rated at like 200 something. And that's with stock compression with no other stuff done to it. So I'm thinking with a different cam, a little bit more compression, like 9.5, maybe a little more than that to 1. I think we'll be probably close to 5, hopefully. With headers, and obviously I'm going to put a cast iron, not cast iron, aluminum 4-barrel intake on it. I was thinking if I could find, which I probably won't, find a decent tunnel ram or something like that would be cool, but I probably won't be able to find that too easy. And I still want to be able to drive this thing on the street too. So, but I already have 410 gears. I already got the transmission is going to have a shift kit probably, and I'm probably going to get a stall converter. But yeah, it's going to be a fun project. I got to buy more parts. I'm waiting on some parts now. And then probably tomorrow I'm probably going to order a few more things, like some bearings for the lower end, and maybe some gaskets too, so I can get started on the heads as well. But also my son, he's itching to get started on this too. He's pretty excited about doing this swap, which it's going to be, I don't know. And the whole thing, that's the one I was trying to get at. The whole thing about doing this, so I might be spending a little money on this motor, but I'm also going to take that motor right out of the Studebaker, that 283 and that automatic, and I'll automatically right now have a motor for the Model 8 then. So I ain't got to go buy another motor. This motor already, the 283 that's in the Studebaker right now, it already runs perfect. Like I would trust it to go out of town someplace on a trip as long as I had the fuel storage. So, and I mean everything works. So let me pause you. We'll wrap this video up. Alright guys, so sorry that's probably a long video. I'm sure I haven't looked at all the times or anything, but yeah, I think by the time this motor is done, this 440, by the time it's done, I think we're looking at upwards towards 500, maybe even like 450, 475 horse, and the torque's probably gonna be way more than that, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean the 283 in that car is fun. It's definitely not a tire burner at all. The torque is like almost non-existent as far as that goes. It's got some, I don't even know what the horsepower is. It's got to be 250, probably 275 maybe. It's not a lot. It's a small motor. And the car's light too, that's the thing. The car's like maybe 3,200 pounds max with that motor and trans. Curb weight of these cars when they were brand new was 2990. I looked it up. So right now it's maybe 3,400, 3,500 maybe, something like that. With this motor, with the way more torque, just off the bat, before I did anything to it, and the horsepower is a little less than a lot of people have in 440s, but I think by the time I do all this stuff, it should be really, really badass. And I think this car, I mean, I've spent a lot of time on this car. I spent a lot of money on it, a lot of time mostly, but a lot of money too. And I'm about to spend more money on it. I think it deserves that. To me, I think this car deserves to have a big block, little more than, obviously more than it has now, and a little more like, of the wow factor. It already has the wow factor by the look of it, but I want that more torquey cam idle, that, whatever, the more power. Whatever one would possibly want out of something like that. I mean, anybody would want that, and I think it deserves it. So I decided, instead of working on, this F59 F100 again all winter long, that me and my son could probably have this in there if we start on it once the weather turns to total crap. Which right now it's raining, but it's not snowing yet. Once it gets cold and starts snowing, we're gonna have some nice days, which is gonna suck having this thing in pieces again, but I think we could have it, once I get all the parts from the motor and I get the transmission stuff that I want to get done and whatever else, I think we could have it in there in probably less than 2 months. Like, I think by the early spring, this thing will be ready to go again. And I think it'll be 100% better than it is right now. So, you guys let me know what you think. There'll be some more videos once I get some parts and start kind of being able to do stuff. The only thing I can really do right now is pull the busted up oil pan off it and take the front timing cover and balancer and stuff off. That's really all I can do right now. And I mean, I guess I could probably start pulling the valves out and maybe start on the whole, porting thing, but I think I'm going to wait a little bit on that. I actually want to take these heads maybe to work and put them in a soak tank for maybe a little while and get some of this oil. There's a lot of oil and stuff saturated in the ports and all over them things. I have to get them a little cleaner before I start messing with them. So, anyways, guys, I'm sorry this is probably a really long video by now, but I really appreciate everybody watching. And like I said, I really appreciate everybody just kind of sticking around and whatever, because it's been probably, it's got to be 120 something days since I made a video. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. And there'll definitely be more on this motor build up and stuff like that pretty soon. So thank you for watching. See you later. Have a good one.